All right. Well, that's good. I know this ain't the biggest crowd I've ever seen, but I know all the crazy motherfuckers down here trying, right? I learned all this shit back with Jack Benny and vaudeville. People go like, "What's vaudeville?" Okay. Oh man. Oh, I gotta tell you, they talk about some of the old guys in the band, like not with us anymore. There's a documentary coming out about DOA next year called Something Better Change, and thank you. And yeah, it should be good. We saw the rough cut the other night, and we're submitting it to film festivals, and we think it's gonna be successful, right?
Oh yeah.
But it has some really cool stuff in there. It attributes to like Wimpy Roy, Dimwit, Zippy Pinhead, Brad Kent, Dimwit, Simon Wilde, people that are not with us anymore. But I mentioned Randy Rampage, who I basically grew up with, and we started bands together with Chuck Biscuits, and every year at Randy's gravesite, we have a memorial. He passed away sadly about 5 years ago, but the guy was fucking one of a kind. Like I gotta tell you a quick story before I get next song. That we were on tour somewhere in the Midwest, and our manager Kenny Busser, said, I'm going to take my motorcycle with me so I can get ahead of the van, I can go to cities and advance the shows and make sure it's a great turnout and promo for DOA. We're going, yeah, sure, whatever, right? You just don't want to ride in the van with us, right? Just smell too bad, right? No. So he's riding, we get somewhere near like Wisconsin or something like that, long ways from Vancouver, and Ken goes, oh, my kidneys, I've been on the bike too long. So Randy says, I'll drive the bike. And, Randy's like 18, 19 or whatever. Like, I can ride a bike. And Ken says, whatever you do, don't wreck my motorcycle. He didn't care about Randy's health. He just went, don't wreck my fucking motorcycle, right? And, okay. So anyways, we're driving along, and I'm driving. And Randy and Ken goes, fuck, where's Randy on the motorcycle? And the manager, Ken's sitting here riding shotgun. I'm driving. And Randy's nowhere in sight. I look at my rearview mirror, all of a sudden I see this fucking motorcycle racing up about 80 miles an hour, and Randy's standing on the fucking seat of the motorcycle with one hand on the throttle. They just come screaming up in this fucking straight highway, and we're all going, yeah, like screaming, like, Randy, way to go. And he goes, Joe, give me a beer, right? And sure. So I'm reaching in to grab a beer. There's beer. Why would there be beer in a van? I mean, that's just wrong. I know that. We learned our lesson. Like, this is the old days. And so as I try to reach the beer and open it, the manager's grabbing my arm, wrestling as I'm driving. And the van's going like this. I go, fuck off, right? And give him a fucking backhand, right? And I crack the beer, Randy gets it. And he's still got one hand on the throttle, still staying in the seat, still throttling, hand on the throttle. He glugs the beer, chucks the beer, races off about 100 miles an hour ahead of us, right? So, how about a hand for Randy Rampage and all the old DOA guys? Those guys are fucking legends, and all I can do, I walk in their footsteps and pay tribute to them. Now, people always say, like, Joe, you've been doing this a long fucking time, right? Like this is the 45th year of DOA. And unbelievable. So I must have been a real badass when I was younger, because now I'm starting my third life sentence. I've already served like 40 years, right? So I guess they might give me for good behavior, might get out in about 15 years if I'm fucking lucky, right? So anyways, but the things, DOA's been fun about this whole time were like fighting like war, greed, sexism, and racism. That's what we started out like, when we're young guys, and now much older, and I'm one of the only ones left. What we're still fighting against: war, greed, sexism, racism. Fuck that shit. This one's called Race Riot. Fuck racism. Race Riot, don't try. KKK, we're gonna buy it. Race Riot, don't buy it. We don't want that crowd. Race Riot, don't buy it. We don't want that crowd. Things and shit with their powers, they won't listen, so they gotta go.
Bovine.com.